This healthy sweet potato pie has just the right amount of sweetness with spices, is deliciously creamy and smooth, and has a rich sweet potato flavor. Add in dollops of luxurious whipped cream and a homemade flaky pie crust for some added nutrition. If you're used to adding large amounts of refined sugar and butter to your sweet potato filling, you'll be surprised this healthy recipe does not contain either of them. So let's start making this healthy sweet potato pie. You begin with the healthy homemade pie crust. Now, we all know all-purpose flour is used to make all our homemade Thanksgiving pie crusts, but in this recipe, we use white whole wheat flour instead of the regular white flour. The difference is that white whole wheat flour is got from grinding a specific variety of soft white wheat fine, while our regular whole wheat flour is got from the heavier variety of red wheat. Though both are healthy, white whole wheat flour gives a lighter texture and taste to our sweet potato pie. This is perfect for our flaky pie crust. Whisk the flour and salt in a medium bowl to prepare the crust. Use a pastry cutter or the back of a fork to cut in the butter until you find that the mixture forms crumbs. Whisk the maple syrup, milk, vanilla, and 2 teaspoons of water in a separate bowl and drizzle it over the flour mixture. Mix well and then continue to add 1 teaspoon of water at a time until the mixture turns into a dough. Take a large sheet of plastic wrap and transfer the dough to its center. Shape the dough into a 4-inch wide circle. Cover it with another large sheet of plastic wrap. Refrigerate the dough for a minimum of 30 minutes. Prepare the filling in the meantime. Beat the sweet potato and Greek yogurt together in a large bowl. Sprinkle the cinnamon, erythritol, allspice, nutmeg, ginger, salt, and cloves over the mixture. Beat well, then pour in the milk, liquid stevia, and vanilla extract. Gradually beat in the egg whites until the mixture has blended well. Coat a standard 9-inch round pie plate with non-stick cooking spray and preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Roll the dough between the sheets of plastic wrap into an 11-inch wide circle. Turn the dough into the pie plate, as you peel off the top layer of the plastic wrap and remove it. Do this gently to ensure the dough does not lose shape when you press the dough onto the pie plate. Trim the overhang. Line the center of the pie with parchment paper and cover the dough all around the steep sides of the pie plate. Pour in your pie weights, which could be dry beans, uncooked rice, or popcorn kernels, into the center of this mix. Bake the crust at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for around 25 minutes. Remove the parchment paper and pie weights with care. Take your filling and spread it around the center of the par-baked crust. Bake the pie at a temperature of 350 degrees Fahrenheit for around 25 to 30 minutes. The center should not jiggle when you shake it. Cool the healthy sweet potato pie completely until it reaches room temperature. Then refrigerate it for 8 hours before you serve. These are important and practical tips that will help you make the perfect homemade sweet potato pie. You can also add whole wheat pastry flour as an alternative. It comes from the same source. Try cold unsalted butter instead of shortening the pie crusts for a richer flavor and lovely flaky pie crust. You can always control the amount of salt you need in your pie crust. Just use a pastry cutter to keep working the cold unsalted butter into the flour. Stop when the mixture turns into fine crumbs. Vanilla extract is key to making a healthy homemade pie crust. The vanilla extract contains alcohol, which creates a lovely flaky texture by preventing the flour's gluten from turning into long strands. Also, vanilla adds to the butter's rich flavor, making the pie crust taste similar to the traditional pie crust. Chilling the pie crust dough is another critical step. The butter tends to warm up when you are mixing the pie crust dough. By refrigerating the dough, the butter turns cold again, which results in the best flaky texture. Just wrap the dough in 2 extra large sheets of plastic wrap before you chill the dough. Roll out the pie crust of your healthy homemade pie crust in between the plastic wrap sheets. This trick helps you avoid the need to flour your rolling pin or surface. Also, it's easier to transfer the pie crust onto the pie pan without breaking. Make sure you use a traditional 9-inch round pie pan or plate, which means you don't have to use a deep dish pie plate but can get these classic 9-inch round pie pans at Amazon or Walmart. Use cooking spray to spritz the pie plate before you transfer the crust inside. This way you can slide slices of pie out of the pie pan with them sticking to the crust. This is important. If you're looking for the iconic bright orange color in your pie, use the orange variety of sweet potatoes or use yams. Both yam and sweet potatoes work perfectly well in this healthy sweet potato pie recipe. Use a vegetable of your choice, but do add in a few cups of its cooked innards. Cook the vegetable fully in a microwave until it's fork tender. Scrape out the fillings and beat them in an electric mixer until they're smooth and paste. Make sure you beat cooked sweet potatoes when they're warm in a mixer. You'll get a gluey, sticky mess if you let the sweet potatoes cool down too much. Here's a great tip. Use the same spices you use in a pumpkin pie to make your healthy sweet potato casserole taste like it. Your family will love it. Take some cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, ginger, and cloves to create a rich and warm flavor and to bring out the sweetness of your yams or sweet potatoes. Here is the best part. You don't need heavy cream or melted butter. The filling in this healthy sweet potato pie is already creamy and smooth enough without the use of heavy cream or melted butter. Instead, use Greek yogurt, which gives your homemade sweet potato pie a protein boost and is luxuriously creamy and thick enough with fewer calories than either butter or heavy cream. As sweeteners, use plant-based confectioner's style erythritol and liquid stevia. Both are healthy for your healthy sweet potato pie, refined sugar-free and low-calorie. Add both, as stevia gives out the same amount of sweetness when you increase the quantity, but the erythritol gives your pie a huge sweetness boost, just like the traditional sugar-laden pies. You'll also need 3 large egg whites for the filling to maintain its shape. To avoid a raw or underdone bottom in your healthy potato pie, par-bake or blind bake the pie before you add the filling. Use parchment paper to line your pie crust and pour in dry beans, uncooked rice, or popcorn kernels to prevent the bottom crust from forming big air bubbles during the baking process. Once your healthy sweet potato pie is baked, allow it to cool to room temperature and then refrigerate to help the filling firm up and remain in shape when you cut it into slices.